And we're going. All right. By popular request, a little more information about this Plastruct stuff. This stuff. All right. So, I guess the main question was curves. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to remake this this head here with a couple compound curves. We'll see how to do that. So I've already taken one piece here and I've scored it into a few pieces. Alright, and the curves. Okay, so that's the piece we're trying to make right there. So let's do that. Always keep your scraps. I found a lot of use for the scraps. So, as with everything, when you're making a curve, just find something round. Now, from my cabinet making background, one very important suggestion I can make is repeatability over accuracy. If you're making cabinets, let's say you're going to make a whole kitchen worth of cabinets. Cabinets are usually 24 inches deep, but when you're cutting parts, let's say you didn't make them 24 inches deep, you made them 23 and 15/16, right? Well, that's fine as long as all of your cabinets are 23 and 15/16 together. So the lesson to be learned here is try to make all your cuts together, like make all your rips to width simultaneously. Boom, 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 boom. Everything that's going to be this width, cut it all at the same time. And then cut to length. Boom, 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 boom. Everything that's going to be the equal length, cut those all together. See if you can set up a jig or a stop. So our goal here is to get these to mate together. So the first thing you got to do is introduce a curve here. And this is a pretty lightweight curve, so I'm going to do this with my hand. This can be done. Here's a heat gun. On low, you can do a little heating to kind of get this going where you want it to go. And I just kind of creased it right there, but we'll fudge-a-ludge it when we get to the gluing process. So at this point, I'm just kind of getting it sort of warm with my hands and just kind of working it, and it's close enough for government work. Alright, so you just saw me do it. I mean, that's it. I just put a very basic curve. You can see a little crease there I put in there. We'll have to fudge-a-ludge that out a little bit. A little bit of masking tape, and we'll start putting this thing together here. What do we got on time? 3.5 minutes. Doing good. Okay. Alright. And you know what? I'm going to work from this end. Now it's just a matter of getting these guys sort of lined up here. Oops, I should stay under the camera, shouldn't I? And you can see these corners are a little cattywampus here. So as I'm going, just fudge-a-ludge those a little bit. A little more curve on them. A little more curve on that guy. Fudge-a-ludge-a-ludge. And then we're just going to snug-a-lug it up. Like that. And that is pretty close. Now, I'm doing this extremely quickly because I'm trying to make a video. Like, for instance, that's not a 90-degree angle. If one were to work these curves a little bit more, and, like I said, fudge-a-ludge them, we'd be doing a lot better. Now, let's see if I can kill these lights, and maybe you can see. God, I got to do something about these lights and filming white things. You probably can't see, but there's a very small gap down in there, and this material sitting tightly is a benefit. So I'm going to try to just muscle it with a little tape here, but I would recommend taking the time to actually sand one piece to the other. That's actually not too bad. And that's it. Now that it's sort of taped into place, we'll go ahead and goop it. And then I'm going to go ahead and put sort of final pressure on this with my fingertips. First of all, I can smell it. Second of all, I can see the seam closing up. And if you get it sort of just right, you can actually see little bubbly things coming out of the seam, and that's actually melted plastic from the welding process. What we're actually doing when we're welding is we're actually melting the two sides together, and then they're bonding. Now you can see also here, I got a really ugly corner there. I'm going to try to do that by hand here. See if I can fudge-a-ludge that back straight. Again, if you're doing this for real, take your time. Don't, I'm trying to get this under 10 minutes here, so take your time. Make it right. Don't do it like crap like I'm doing it right now. Okay, and then we'll keep on keeping on here. Here's the other two pieces that we cut. Alright, stay under the camera, Chris. Stay under the camera. Alright. Sort of getting there. Sort of getting there. And pull these seams together here. Wow, this is ugly. This is disastrously ugly. Disastrously ugly. But for demonstration purposes, it's going to work just fine. We'll goop that guy up there. Goop that guy up there. And a little inseam. And then squishify these together. You don't have to get too crazy on the pressure. Just kind of goop it. Alright. And we'll give that a second to dry. And we'll have some tasty Cumberland Farms coffee. Which actually, oddly enough, this lid is probably the exact same material. Here. While this guy's drying, we'll have some fun here. I have discovered that this goop does not stick to servo horns. Servo horns must be of another material. But, see if coffee lids are styrene. I think they are. Hey, look at that. Oh. Wait for it to dry. There. Alright. So, this guy is probably pretty close to sort of dry. And poorly glued at that, but it'll be enough for us to check this guy out. Okay. Just pulling the tape off here. And here is our very ugly, but nevertheless basic curve. Alright. And there, that seam will not blow apart. And there's your basic curve. I mean, that's it. That needs some 220 sandpaper. Just, little putty, little paint, make it what it ain't. And you're done. Like I said, the other option on the curves is to use a little heat from a heat gun, or I've actually held pieces over the element on the stove, electric stove. You can throw it in the toaster. I don't have exact temperature numbers, but it's not much, maybe a couple hundred degrees Fahrenheit. boiling, probably 100 degrees Celsius, and that's it. I don't know what else to say. Cut pieces and glue them together. You can do it. I believe in you. Let's make robots.com. Ting!